Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the House of the Red Tool. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. It's going to get blazing hot today, so we're going to work in the woods as much as possible. On today's video, we've got some milling work to do. I'm trying to get some 4x4 posts, porch posts, milled for our deck up at camp. And so we're looking for the right poplar to do that. And I've got this guy right here that we're going to try to take on. Now, I'm trying to do a better job of letting you guys know where I am. Some of you that follow the channel have a rough idea how our land lays out, and you're kind of like, hey, Troy, where are you working today? Well, the sawmill is right down here to my left. The barn, tractor shed, or what's now kind of the pig hangout. And the house would be up here on the hill to my left. So basically everything's to my left. I'm on the south side of the property. At the first bench, in West Virginia we call them benches, the little flat spots you get as you go up the side of the mountain. So we're on the first bench on the south ridge. So we're kind of on the front of the property. Majority of the 100 acres is that way. So this poplar tree sits right on the edge of my kill zone. I think I've walked through about 6 spider webs just doing that intro. Right behind me is our fence line, so the pigs have access to pasture right here. They don't have access to this road base that the camera's sitting on. So this is kind of further up the ridge, starting up the side of the mountain that they don't have access to. Now, the game plan before 2020 is to have them actually accessing this to my next bench. My next bench is up about 150 yards. I got a really nice road up there that loops all around, so it'd be nice to have them on this part, some new ground that they can get to. It's all forested just like you see right here. So the whole point of that, bringing that up, is of course this poplar's in an area that we'd like to drop. This is a decent sized poplar. If we would take my handy dandy tape here, we'd see that we are right at 13 inches in diameter. So that's a decent little poplar. It's relatively straight. It goes up about 30-40 feet before the first limb. It's got just the tiniest little fish belly in it. So I think this will be our candidate for today's work. We should be able to get 4 or 5 good logs out of that probably. So let's cut it down. Man, I love it when they fall that easy, but I don't like it when I get my saw stuck. Part of it. Now I'd like to say I planned that to leave enough material on the last log to drag it out too, but I didn't. Normally I make my cuts to measure my logs, then try to drag one log out to the road before I cut it, but I got overzealous and started cutting. Well, we decided, since we're in between mud events, normally this area right here is very, very muddy, and it's tough to get the tractor in the winter season, or obviously in this rainy season we've been having. But we've had 4 days without rain, so it's actually dried out enough that I think I can get in here. And I've been wanting to get this poplar out. Now again, so I can show you where we are on the map. Right over here is the tractor shed, the barn and sawmill are down there, house is over here. The tree we felled just earlier was just on the other side of this watershed. So this is an area, this was the old log staging area when we had the property timbered 20 years ago. They staged down there. So we want to take a look at this guy. He's not as big as that last one, but still obviously within our kill zone of what we want to clear for pasture. So that's right at 11 inches in diameter. And decently straight, a couple small branches up, but I think I can get 3 or 4 logs out of this one as well. So we're gonna try. I think it's got a little bit of a gangster lean this way, so I think I'm going to try to drop the tree right where Liam is standing with the camera, and that will allow me to be able to get in here with the tractor easy and get it. Versus if I took it downhill, then I got to fish it up over the bank. If I took it down that way, I've got some trees down already over my road, so I got to clear all that out. So I think if we can fell it uphill, then I can get to it easier.
All right.
So the boys are going to rick these 4x4s up for us. Now as you can see, these smaller logs, I barely got 4x4s out of it. That's what I thought I could get out of these smaller poplar. But the game plan, of course, is to mill these vertical posts that will be on the deck that we have up at camp to support our roof. That's the plan. So we're going to do 6 verticals. We'll have our horizontals, I believe 6 horizontals, maybe 7. And then of course our angle bracing. So we use all 4x4 material there. Cut our angle bracing, we'll cut some notches. Kind of be a little bit like timber frame, but I'm still going to use some screws. So it's not going to be 100% timber frame where we're using dowel pins and loose mortar or loose tenons and all that type of stuff. But we'll still have a nice rustic look to it. We'll leave some natural edge on some of these, and hopefully they won't be. That one came off a little crooked, but we'll see how they work out. Is the rick pile getting a little wobbly? Yeah. May have to offset it a little bit so it doesn't fall over. Alright, so my folks came down to help me finish up. Boys bailed out on me. That's alright. That's what teenagers do, right? So Dad's dumping our last pile of slabs from this last log. Mom doesn't like to be on camera. Alright, so we got 6 more 4x4s out of our stack. Out of our, what did we mill, 3 logs today? Yeah. Milled 3 logs, 6 more 4x4s, so that gives us a total of 16, which I really only need 13 plus some scrap. So that gives us 3 extra, of course. And then we got some 11-foot 2x4s here. So you can see there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Helps if I aim the camera while I'm counting. So 12. I only need 11 of those. A little bit of a warp to that, but we can fix that. And then just some scrap there that may use for purlins on the roof. It's not a bad haul here. We're going to put 1 more log on the mill, but we're going to call it a day. So Dad's going to help me set it up. All right, yeah, we'll just leave that there and I can work on it tomorrow. After I Sabbath, of course. Well, that's 13 2x4s. No, what did I say? 12 2. No, I don't even remember.
You only needed 11, it said.
Yeah. So that should be plenty of 2x4s. I got 3 extra 4x4s.
How you going to anchor them to the deck? Just toenails?
I'm going to get some 90-degree brackets at the hardware store. So we
What
can
do
have.
you use for a header?
the 4x4s. They'll go across. I'm going to do some timber framing type style, and then we'll do 45 supports, and then of course we'll just do regular rafters.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
All right. I appreciate your help. Well, all right, not necessarily the smoothest transition from scene to scene here. We had a lot happen in the last 36 hours. So, as you last saw, we were milling. You last saw we were sawing. But here's what we've got. I've got, what do I have? I've got all my 4x4s. I think we ended up with 16 of those turkeys. So, got that. We've got, underneath here are 12-inch 2x4s that we're going to be using up at camp. I believe there's 14 of those. We've got a crap ton of little 1x2s that we're going to use as purlins for our metal roof. Just some scrap, some other true 2x4s that we'll be using. Again, some other scrap. Got it loaded on the trailer. The reason why I didn't show that is we just finished it here, and now it's 2 days later from when we milled. It was Saturday morning when we started milling, and now it's Monday evening. Yesterday we had some friends from church ask us to help them out. Their neighbor, we had a small tornado come through West Virginia last week, and a tornado in West Virginia is just unheard of. And this one came through actually near our neck of the woods right behind our church where some of our friends live, and it just kind of bounced over people's houses. The people's houses that were sitting up on top of a knoll took the brunt of it, but again, it was just like an F0, so it didn't knock houses over. It maybe tore some shingles off, trampolines and pools, they were gone. A lot of trees down, trees did fall on houses. That was where the most damage was sustained. And long story short, this fella came out. It's a little suburb area, small yards, all those things. This fella came out, had some trees that were snagged, some that were broken off. He admitted he didn't have the experience. Starts cutting trees down, drops a tree on him, and ends up breaking his leg in two places. Actually detached his ear and dislocated his shoulder and broke his clavicle. Really did some bad damage to the poor fella. So our friends at church told us about this guy. So we decided after church to go over there and spend the day cleaning up that. We were going to video that, but quite frankly, I know that's probably not YouTube style, but I just didn't feel right about videoing that. That just seemed kind of, the guy's in ICU. His family was there working with us, so I just didn't seem right to video that. So that's why we're kind of disjointed. Obviously, as Christians, that's what we're called to do, is to help others out. So that's why the video is a little busted up. Apologize for that, and that's why I'm standing here in the light of my truck. So it is after 9 o'clock. It's time to stick a fork in it. Actually, so I can get this video edited. If I lose track on this. Actually, this is probably going to be Friday's video. But anyway, I got to get a shower. I got to get cleaned up. But this is what we've got. We've got a nice little load of lumber here. All right. Well, that was about as fractured as it can get. Take care, everybody.